History of supporting AIDS. Did you know that more than 38,000 people are diagnosed with AIDS every year? This fact, however, is pretty shocking as well as saddening. AIDS stands for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. And many health organizations have been doing everything that they can to find a cure for this horrid disease. People have been infected with the disease since the 1960s after coming into contact with chimpanzees. Over the years, medical organizations have been working on more than 80 drugs to help slow the spread of the disease. In addition, we have lost many celebrities in the past due to this horrendous disease. Today, the survival rates have increased. However, people need to understand this disease. Otherwise, there will be more infections for years to come. For a long time, AIDS was considered to be a disease that can slowly but surely kill people. During the 1960s, AIDS have most likely originated during that time. People did not know about this. 10 years later, the disease spread rapidly and the medical organizations finally realized it. Many believe that it started down in Africa after a group of people came into contact with chimpanzees. In 1986, the very first drugs were developed for the disease. During the 90s, Zidovudine managed to risk transitions from a parent to a child. Currently, over 1 million cases have been reported and were the primary cause of death for people who are aged 25 to 44. By the end of the decade, AIDS was considered to be the fourth biggest cause of death. And as of the early 2010s, the AIDS Drug Assistance Program has been working on more than 80 drugs that have been approved by the United States Food and Drugs Administration. As of today, we have no permanent cure for this disease. When patients work out a treatment plan, they need to have a willingness as well as a readiness to begin the therapy. Drug treatments can help slow the virus in the patient's body. For example, nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors can help maintain effectiveness. The improvement in treatment has everybody relieved that AIDS can be fought. Based on the research, AIDS have different survival rates. Between 86 and 2015, more than 32,000 patients were investigated to estimate survival factors after being diagnosed with the disease. The survival rate for the patients was up to 67% and 88%. Today, it is such a relief to see the improvement on the survival rates. In the past, we have had local celebrities that have died to this disease. In addition, children and teenagers have been infected. In 1996, American lawyer Roy Cohn died at the age of 59. 5 years later, in 1991, Howard Ashman died at the age of 40. He was remembered by many people as a lyricist for several musicals such as The Little Shop of Horrors and Beauty and the Beast. In 1990, American teenager Ryan White died at the age of 18, just less than 1 month before his high school graduation. Thomas Duane from New York has successfully been managing his condition. For many years, he was considered by many to be the first gay member of the New York State Senate. Organizations that support AIDS have been doing such an excellent job in supporting AIDS, as well as educating the public, working with the people who have AIDS, and working with physicians on the best treatment options. However, it is still very important that people need to know about this disease and that they need to create a plan to give others more information. If this plan fails, then there will be more people with AIDS worldwide, and others will be in jeopardy of developing the disease. Since AIDS were first discovered in the 1960s, many people are still suffering. Luckily, only 15% of the human population have AIDS. However, it can be pretty difficult at first to start the therapy, but after a while, people will successfully get used to it every day. In addition, people need to teach their friends and family about AIDS. That way they can tell future generations just how deadly AIDS can be. Hopefully someday, we will get a permanent cure for this disease. But today, however, is not that day. Today, all that people can do are to use drugs to help slow the spread and the progression of AIDS.